Hey everybody, Roman versus with the Squashfest podcast and my co-host.
Everybody's favorite New Yorker Rican. Wait, I'm not Puerto Rican.
You're not.
Okay, keeping that in. The boy Harm.
This guy.
It was supposed to be some sort of New York and Florida thing, and New Yorker Rican came out. I don't know why. Devin, it's her fault. I got 5 messages.
Before we begin, I just want to say, may the 4th be with you to all the Star Wars fans out there.
I need to watch Andor. I heard Andor is really good.
I haven't watched it either. I heard it's really good. I heard it's the best Star Wars TV show.
Series.
Yeah. All right, so Smackdown.
Oh boy, this is we're really going through the hard times of after WrestleMania, aren't we?
Not to mention, right after SmackDown was when they started announcing all the releases.
Oh, you want to get into that? They released 17 people over the weekend.
17? I only knew about the little list I sent you.
No, it was 17 wrestlers.
I know a lot of them were NXT.
Yeah, hold on. Well, while I look this up, the ones that really
popped out were Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler,
Dakota Kai, Cora Jade. Those are the 4.
You don't think the 2 little ones?
Oh, Katana Chance, the Party Girls?
Yeah.
I guess because they haven't been prominently featured this year on TV, but they've used them in the past. So here's the total list of releases: Shayna Baszler, Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, Shotzi, and Shotzi.
Oh, I did not hear about Shotzi.
She released Shotzi yesterday. So those are the ones that are on a 90-day non-compete clause.
Wow.
The main roster ones. And then this is the list of NXT releases: Javier Bernal, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Gigi Dolan, Jakari Jackson, Cora Jade, Oro Mensah, Riley Osborne, Eddie Thorpe, Wolfgang, Danny Palmer, and rumored to be Luca Cristofino, which is one of the guys in the Mafia gimmick. They released 17 wrestlers over the last couple of weeks. Like I said, a lot of NXT talent. I know it came out last year, and they said when it comes to your NXT people or your performance center people, if within 2 or 3 years, if they don't see anything of you, they'll just release you. That was a rumor that they had last year. So a lot of these guys have been here for a while. Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Wolfgang are NXT UK guys. Gallus, they're really talented guys, but never did anything as far as, really prominently pushing them on NXT. Riley Osborne, Eddie Thorpe, they were just hitting their strides. One was in Chase U. One was Eddie Thorpe is the Native American gimmick on NXT. He's gone. But yeah, it's really the ones that really bothered me were Cora Jade. Braun Strowman, I understand. Like his leg is about to be amputated in the next couple of years.
What the French?
He went on his Twitter himself and said his leg was only working at 25% capacity or whatever it was.
First off, I didn't even hear about that. But then on top of that, why are you running then? Why was that your constant thing?
It hurts to watch him run. It hurts to watch him move. I've been saying this forever. He said one of his legs is almost dead. And Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, like those two, for different reasons. Dakota Kai just kept getting hurt and never really had a start on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna Baszler, when she first made main roster, they had a chance to really do something special with her. I remember her first night was when she attacked Becky Lynch, and they made her look crazy when she bit Becky Lynch, and there was like blood spewing everywhere and everything. But then she lost to Becky at Mania, and they really never did anything with her afterwards. Like, she could have been a really good heel for them if pushed properly. I just thought that Vince never knew what to do with her, other than make her Ronda Rousey's bestie.
I liked her with Nia Jax.
Shayna Baszler?
Yeah, they had a run together.
I'm gonna have to read. I'm gonna block.
When they were a tag team, and they didn't get along.
Okay, I vaguely remember this.
I thought they were. I thought they were hilarious together.
Shayna is really good.
She is really good. She's a good in-ring worker. She does a lot of stuff on social media that's hilarious. Basically, her entire gimmick is her making fun of everybody else who's making TikToks, and I love that because that's so her.
Yeah. So,
I don't know.
yeah,
I think she's probably the biggest one that got squandered. That they didn't do anything with. That had so much potential, and you can believe that she would just go around decimating people.
Yeah, and I'll throw Cora Jade in there too. If you watch NXT, Cora Jade was like going to be the next it girl, if not for all of the injuries. Like
I was gonna say, didn't she just come back?
Yeah, she tore her ACL. She came back. She got hurt again in ring. I think she had like a concussion in a match against somebody. She left for a little bit to do a TNA thing. She was wrestling on TNA for a little while still being WWE, obviously. And then she had a tag match at Stand and Deliver with Roxanne against 3 other teams, and they just cut her. And I think she's super young, 24 years old, super talented. Hopefully, she'll land on her feet somewhere. But she's that one that she. I felt like she's could have been, and she's how do I say this? She could have been elevated into a super player for the company in a few years, but that NXT women's locker room is so deep right now. It's like, yeah, it's the problem. The problem might be that you brought in so many women from so many other promotions. It's like you don't really have anything for Cora Jade right now. Even if you're bringing up, Roxanne and Julia to the main roster, you still have Jordan Grace and Jada Parker and Delta, Zarya, Sol Ruka. Like that roster is so deep right now. So maybe letting Cora Jade go is the best thing for her right now, because she can go somewhere and become an immediate star.
Which is why, though, I figured these were coming. Not to mention it happens every year, but I figured this would come in because we kept talking for how many weeks. They have too many people, and they're calling up so many people. And then you have a show like LFG where you're bringing up more people. And then you bought so many other promotions. You're working with some other promotions as well, and you're essentially feeding off of them and taking their people. You don't have enough TV time for all this. We joked, and I said they need to create another show, but
absolutely not.
But essentially that's the problem: is you have so much talent, you have to start cutting.
Yeah,
and I'm not surprised.
We've been through this a couple of years ago too, like at the advent of AEW, so 2019, when WWE they weren't cutting people because they thought people were going to go to AEW. After a couple of years, then you saw them start cutting the Rusevs, the Aleister Blacks. They started releasing people randomly, and we were all like, okay, why? And they went to over there, and they didn't really do anything over there, and they brought them back, right? So there is always a light at the end of the tunnel for some of these people, especially the super young ones, who can go out there, do the Drew McIntyre thing, do the Cody Rhodes thing, go out there and make a name for yourself on the indie scene again. So when you come back, WWE has to give you a spot, and I think that's the best way to do it. We talk all the time about how wrestling is getting popular again, and wrestling is getting hot again, and that's across the board. Like TNA is selling out shows. AEW, as much as their on-screen thing is not for me, AEW is starting to sell out venues again, and their TV ratings are starting to go back up. You were just talking about LFG. WWE has like 9 shows that are not storyline-driven shows, and it's insane. Like they have evolved that they're sending NXT people down to evolve to work there because they can't get a TV time on NXT, right? So it's a lot of content that they have to put out, but they have a lot of people in the pipeline, and they keep signing new people. They keep signing new people every year. Like they have the WWE NIL program, right? The Next in Line program, where there's constantly scouting people from colleges, and they're bringing in a lot of athletes and teaching them how to wrestle. So the pipeline doesn't stop, but they need to. And it's cost cutting as well. Like you're gonna cut some of your main roster people who are making $300,000-$500,000 a year if you're not using them. and sign some people who are going to make $50,000 or $60,000 a year and put them in NXT and train them. Right? It's just cost cutting as well. If you're not using them, we don't need to waste $500,000 on Dakota Kai, right?
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true. All right, so that was that. Smackdown. Let's get into Smackdown.
Facts.
What's your overall takeaway of the show? Because my overall takeaway is we got the Fatal 4-Way that I was joking about that we were going to get. We're going to get the Fatal 4-Way at Backlash. We got a women's division that I'm not sure they know exactly where they're going with right now. And we had, in what in my opinion was one really good match on the show. And it was Rey Fenix and Santos.
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
Fantastic match. It felt like a Lucha Underground match. Like that was my favorite match. Actually, two good matches because Pretty Deadly and Fraxiom was pretty good.
I knew you were going to say that too. I forgot about them, but yeah, I as soon as I saw them on the screen, I'm like, Derek's losing his mind right now.
That match was really good.
I'm not gonna lie, that backstage segment got me excited for the match. They did pretty well.
Pretty Deadly is funny. They're good.
No, they're definitely good. They're definitely good. But overall, lackluster show. And I'm more excited for the thing that I'm sure that they weren't planning on me being excited, which is the Los Garza and Santos Escobar and all that whole thing going on in the back.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for that than anything else.
All right, so we'll get into it. The show started off with LA Knight walking through the backstage, and he walks by a fracas. I think that's the word, fracas, a scrub of people, and it's Damien Priest arguing with Solo Sikoa, and I'm just gonna call him Zilla Fatu. That's not his name.
Jacob
Fatu. Zilla Fatu's the other one.
Yep.
He's arguing with Jacob Fatu, and he's just yelling at him. Damien Priest is just yelling at them, saying, "I'm gonna take your title, blah blah blah," because of what happened last week when Jacob just came out and obliterated everybody. LA Knight gets to the ring. He starts cutting a promo. He starts saying that he never got his one-on-one rematch for his championship, and when he had the opportunity to try to become the number one contender, somebody came and costed the match. And he says, "Damien Priest, I have no issues with you, but you cost me the match," and that brings out Damien Priest. And they have the back and forth, and they're just yelling at each other. Priest makes a lot of good points. He goes, "You say I cost you the match and I got you disqualified, but you already took a spike out there from Solo Sikoa. You are on your way to losing that match, and I had no problem. I have no problem with you. I just need to get my hands on Drew McIntyre because he continues to talk about me and my family and blah 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 blah." Right? They just keep going back and forth. LA Knight, Damien Priest tells him, if you didn't have your head so far up your ass at Mania, you probably would have beaten Jacob Fatu. LA Knight retorts with, "Well, you don't worry about where my head is because I'm going to stick my foot up yours." Leading to a one-on-one match that was supposed to apparently be the main event of the show. And they said, "Well, we're in the ring right now. Let's get a referee down here." Referee sprints down. They have a match. Solid match, very good. These two guys were hitting all their signature moves. No one actually hit the finishing move, but I think Priest goes for a South of Heaven. LA Knight counters it. Eventually, my problem with this is, and I know you're trying to get to the Fatal 4-Way, but back-to-back weeks when you're trying to book a number one contender, you have interference from the outside. So you have Solo Sikoa come down and attack LA Knight on the outside, go into the ring. Attack Damien Priest on the outside, go into the ring, try to hit a Samoan spike on LA Knight, and Damien Priest comes up in the frame. My daughter just dropped something in the hallway. I don't know what that was. Damien Priest in the frame behind him go to attack him. He attacks him. Eventually, Jacob Fatu comes out, hits a Samoan drop on LA Knight on the announce table. It's a hip check or hip thrust, whatever it's called, on Damien Priest as he was leaning against the barricade, and he stands there looking over him and Solo holding the title. That leads us later in the night, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to forget if I don't say it now. That is later in the night to a backstage segment where Nick Aldis is telling Solo and Jacob, well, because of you guys' actions, I have no number one contender. So at Backlash, Jacob, you're going to defend the championship in a triple threat match against both LA Knight and Damien Priest. Solo, thinking he's helping,
Yeah.
says to Nick Aldis, well, Drew McIntyre beat Damien Priest at WrestleMania, and he won last week's match by disqualification over LA Knight. So shouldn't Drew McIntyre be the number one contender for Jacob at Backlash, and it's a one-on-one match? Nick Aldis goes, I like how you're thinking, but instead, at Backlash, we're going to add him in, and it's going to be a fatal four-way match for Jacob Fatu's championship. And Jacob's look he gives Solo, he's like, I'm going to murder you. He's Samoan Superman eyes through his head at that moment. So Jacob walks away, and Solo says,
well, he tells him, he said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You can bring whoever you want.
Yes.
I'm still gonna retain, essentially.
Yeah, he does. He his Yaramin.
Yeah.
and then he walks away, and then Solo looks at Nick Aldis, and he goes, why are you trying to screw Jacob? And he goes, I'm not trying to screw Jacob. You are. And that's how that segment ends. So we're still getting the dissension of Jacob and Solo.
That slow burn.
That slow burn, but getting to this fatal four-way, I was not okay with the back-to-back disqualifications in these matches. It's copy-paste. Like you ever watch old Attitude Era matches? If you ever go to a random Attitude Era Raw, there are no finishes. Every match, somebody's running down and attacking somebody. Every single match.
I'm gonna test that theory.
We're gonna have to watch it, because if there's 6 matches on a Raw, there's probably 4 run-ins.
Wow.
From 1999, it's insane. It's fine. We're gonna get the Fatal 4-Way. I still don't see Jacob losing this championship.
No. Too early.
Too early. You got 2, and it'll only elevate him by having wins over 2 former world champions in that match. I just don't like how they got there. It's it just felt really lazy to me.
No, and understandably so. The one takeaway I had was the fact that Solo looked really good when he interfered at first.
Yeah.
He was putting in the work, putting in the business, and then unfortunately that's when Damien Priest gets up, and then they start double teaming him. But up until that point, he looked pretty strong.
The descent of Solo Sikoa has to be studied. I don't understand. Like, I get it. You bring in Jacob Fatu, and I say this all the time, you bring up Jacob Fatu, and they do a lot of the same things, and you're elevating Jacob. So Solo's mystique and aura, this badass of what he was last year, is gone. But there's still a way. He's essentially become a jobber.
Yeah.
It sucks. We Solo could have been, if pushed him where Jacob is, and I said this before, Solo's going to main event some shows. He has main evented shows, but I don't know how you build him back up unless you really create that feud with Jacob and have him get a couple wins.
Yeah. I think he keeps the Tonga and I forgot the other one.
Tongaloa.
There you go. I think he keeps them, and Jacob goes on his own. And I think you need to make him relevant by having, because he's essentially, that's it for the bloodline.
Yep.
They're the last remnants of it. If you want to keep that going and have him lead it, then that's how you keep him relevant. But you got to give him some wins. And I just remember last year how many times I kept arguing with you about what they were doing with Solo, and you kept saying, wins, losses doesn't matter for him. And blah, blah, blah.
90% of his losses came on live events. They don't matter.
But even on main event, on regular
He
TV,
had
he
like
was still
four
losing.
matches. He had like
Doesn't
four
matter.
matches, and he was losing to main event talent. The one thing, besides the Roman loss, again, the one thing from Solo's entire run last year that I remember was him destroying John Cena in Saudi Arabia. That's it.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then
like
after
I.
that, it was nothing but losses.
But they didn't hurt him. Is what I'm saying. Like his
You can't
losses
say they
didn't.
didn't hurt him, but then in the same breath talk about I don't understand his decline.
No,
We have to study it.
His decline started after he lost to Ulafala to Roman. Once that happened, they didn't do anything with Solo to try to build his character back up. It's over after that. They took him off of TV for a little while.
Yeah.
Jacob started looking at him as I don't respect you anymore because you lost the thing that makes you the tribal chief to him, and you didn't really do anything to really try to get it back. So Jacob's disrespect for him started there, and he hasn't done anything since. And that was in January. We're in May. That was 4 months ago. I think that's where the descent really started. But we all knew he was going to lose it to Roman, but it's
You could
losing to
track it.
Roman
You could
on a.
track it from last year. I'm sorry. You could track
I
it
don't.
from last year. You can't have nothing but losses up until that point that you're talking
Well, what
about,
I would
and
have
then
done,
say you're not counting those losses.
what I would have done is I would have had his team win at War Games and not have Punk come in and help Roman's team win, because if to to motivate the feud for the Ulafala, I thought you needed Solo to start getting one up on Roman moving forward. He never really got it. It was
Yeah.
just Roman coming out and destroying Solo for months on end and then beating Solo for the Ulafala.
Yeah.
Like, what point is that? Have Solo's bloodline win at War Games so that way he can legitimately keep saying, I am the tribal chief. Roman can't beat me, and then have Roman challenge him. That would have made more sense. But whatever.
Yeah, but if you did that and you didn't have CM Punk come out, then you screwed over the rest of that
You screwed over the
storyline.
WrestleMania feud. I understand. I just there could have been other ways to get to WrestleMania without that, without the whole favor of him being in War Games.
I like the favor.
Whatever.
That's how you
All
break
right.
up him and Paul Heyman. Was the whole point
I'm
is that you're not supposed to ask for a favor from a friend.
The end game, how they booked it was great. I think there was other ways to get there. Is what I'm saying. But I'm not a writer. I'm just a wrestling podcaster who watches the show.
Here we go.
All right. Then we got a backstage segment between Pretty Deadly and Fraxiom. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Hilarious. I love these guys. I love Pretty Deadly. They're talking about, hey, it's great to have more Europeans around on the show. And they said that. I'm like, half the show is European. You got Nick Aldis running the show. You got the Scottish Secret Service later on. Like there's so many Europeans on this show. You got Drew McIntyre running around. like half the show is Europe. Anyways, that's not the point. These guys are awesome. They're funny. They basically tell them, hey, you're on the big time now. You know, we like you guys. We think you're really good. Well, we don't know if you're really good because we've never wrestled you, but maybe take it down to like 80%. And they were like, we went to Uncle Nick and we told them we asked him for a match against you guys, and Axiom's like, match with us? Cool. We'll meet you out there. I think Fraxiom, as much as I say they're the best tag team in the world, they need a true character. They need true characters.
Yeah.
The initial thing for them was, like I said, they were supposed to be like the NXT Justice League. One superhero and one is literally the Flash, and they were supposed to be like the Justice League. But this is a very fun match, very fast paced, very high flying. Elton Prince, Kit Wilson, so underrated in the ring. Their tag team work together. Their combo moves, how they put stuff together, is so underrated. I say this all the time. I love the fact that they're two Elton Johns. I love the entrance music when they actually. I love the entrance music. It's so 1980s Boy George. Like
I can see it.
I love it. It's I love the disco ball. I love the presentation for these guys. Really good match. Eventually, the superheroes win. Fraxiom gets the win.
Is that what you're going with? The
It's
superhero sword.
Fraxiom. There's Fraxiom. They're the superheroes. One wears a mask and one does a Phoenix splash looking like blonde Seth Rollins. Um, yeah, so that's the way they win. Fraxiom hits a combo move eventually to the Phoenix splash from Nathan Frazier. They get the win. Uh, we talk about how all the time how they are starting to elevate the SmackDown tag division, and
Mm-hmm.
this is a perfect example why. This was a random match on
Yep.
SmackDown
Yep.
that they gave them 2 or 3 segments for that had nothing to do with the World Tag Team Championships,
Yep.
which is actually pretty fun that they're showing other people on the card besides your champions and giving people a chance to get over with the crowd. So this is a really good match. Eventually, like down the line, I would love to see a Street Profits Fraxium match. I think they did it once on NXT, but on the main show, that'll be fantastic.
Banger.
Mm-hmm. All right, this was my is either my least favorite match on the night or second least favorite match of the night. Miz and Aleister Black.
I told first off, you said I think it was last week where you were
I
like
think it was last week.
this match cannot go long. It has to be a squash match, so on and so forth. And I told you, I said they're gonna make it competitive. I said I don't know how you're gonna feel about that, and you were like, no, they can't do that, unfortunately. And guess what they did? Very
They have
competitive,
they
very
have
long.
they have 3 hours to fill on SmackDown.
I
I
get it,
am
but you could have
no,
had
no.
this be a squash match, and you could have put another match in with
I
somebody
gotta.
else who you're not
I
utilizing. So
I
that
agree.
excuse, I won't
No, I
take.
know, but what I'm saying is, like, once I'm gonna be so happy when SmackDown goes back to 2 hours in June or July, because they some of these matches again were too long, and I don't know if they just if it's post WrestleMania that they're giving people time off to elevate other people. I don't know, but this match should not have been as long as it was. I'm gonna roughly say this match was 15 minutes bell to bell, 16 minutes bell to bell. I can look it up, but I don't, whatever. It should not have been this long.
Yeah.
Miz, as much as he's a first ballot Hall of Famer and a really good wrestler and entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
he's a 2-time world champion. He's a 9-time Intercontinental champion. He's like I think he's a 9-time tag champion as well. Something crazy. This is not his lane where he needs to be going into matches and having super competitive matches against guys who you want to punish.
Yeah.
His lane needs to be, and I understand why they did it because eventually we're going to get Carmelo and Aleister Black, and that's a match I'm really looking forward to. But his lane should be cowardly heel
Mm-hmm.
who gets one up as 5 minutes. You go in there. You let Miz hit a couple of things. You let him hit the backbreaker. You let him hit that clothesline to the corner where he puts half of his body through the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
You let him do a couple of his moves, and then you have Aleister go on a barrage for about 90 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You could have trimmed this down about a third
Mm-hmm.
and made them both look good, or made Miz have some offense, and then all Aleister has to do is hit a couple of kicks, hit a black mass, get the pin, done. And then you could have had Carmelo get in the ring and and do the face to face with Aleister. This did not need 2.5 segments or 3 segments. I'm sorry. All of the rest holds, all the commercial breaks where Miz was just keeping him in a headlock for 2 minutes, like all unnecessary,
Mm-hmm.
completely unnecessary. This did nothing for Aleister's mystique. He gets the win,
Mm-hmm.
but it did nothing to tell me why Aleister's special.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you need to do with it. You need to figure out how to elevate Aleister Black back to what he was when he was NXT champion, when he was feuding with Johnny Gargano, when he was feuding with Samoa Joe, when he was feuding with all these guys. You need to rebuild his mystique in WWE. This match did nothing for that.
No. My thing
And,
is if you struggle with the Miz, how am I supposed to believe you're gonna beat Carmelo Hayes?
I mean, I love Carmelo, but they've done nothing with him other than make him the Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner.
I know, but essentially, then how do I care?
Yeah,
It's either you're
that match.
definitively gonna
No,
beat him, right?
no,
But
that
again,
match
if you
that match needs to
struggled
be
with the Miz, I
50 minutes.
don't.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what I'm saying. If you struggled with the Miz for that long, for me, that's like, yo, you have severe ring rust, and I don't expect you to beat this guy. That's it. By the way, did you see the chain finally?
Yes, I saw the chain. That shit is gaudy and humongous, and I love it. It was so. I was like, he came out of the thing, and I was like, Tommy, what is that around his neck? He goes, that's the Dre. And I'm like, what do you mean that's the Dre? And then I saw the face. I'm like, the Andre the Giant chain. He's got a giant chain instead of carrying around that giant trophy.
Trophy. Yep. And I love it.
It
I
fits
love
his
it.
character. I'm not gonna lie, it fits his character.
Well, it fits his
That
character,
was
but it also fits something the Miz would give.
uh-huh.
Like, it's so in line. I love it.
Oh god.
I
It
love it.
was it was so good.
By the way, I
But
was
yeah,
thinking about this 2 segments ago, and I just wanted to ask you before we. And I don't want to get too sidetracked. Where's Ilja Dragunov?
Ilya Dragunov,
Whatever the hell his name is.
he was hurt. He tore his
Again?
rotator cuff. No, he's still the same injury. He never came back.
I thought he
He
came
tore
back.
No, he tore his rotator cuff like last year and never came back. People were thinking he was going to be a Royal Rumble entrant, didn't come back.
No, he did come back. He was back for like a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. He
I
was in
don't
backstage segments.
maybe, but they haven't put him on TV.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I don't
And then
know.
he just disappeared again.
Oh, I don't know. They haven't. Last time I saw him, he was hurt last year.
Okay.
I've not seen him. Maybe he's been in the background, but they have not put him on TV.
No, he's been on TV. He had a talking
No.
part. He had a talking part
When? When was this?
like 2 months ago.
I don't remember this. I gotta look this up. I don't remember Ilya Dragunov.
Here's how you know that I know what I'm talking about. I barely know who that guy is. So the fact
Yeah,
that I
as
know
well.
who he is, yeah, exactly. So the fact that I even know who this guy is to mention him, that should tell you that something happened with him because he had a whole talking part. I forgot who he was talking to. He was beefing with somebody.
According to Google AI overview, he's
Oh, here we
expected
go.
to return in September of 2025.
Oh my god.
Because oh no, he tore his ACL in September of last year. That's what it was. So September of 24, he tore his ACL. So I don't know what you're thinking about, but he has not been on from.
He was on TV. He was in a backstage segment. They
Well,
had
he's
him
not
talking.
available. He's not coming back for at least another couple months.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, that's a guy. I mean, he might need a gimmick change when he gets back. We'll get into that when he gets back up. All right, so then I totally skipped the Nia Jax promo that led to the brawl. So Nia Jax comes out. She starts cutting a promo, talking, ripping into Tiffany Stratton, talking about how she wants her championship back, how she never got her rematch, blah blah blah. Tiffany Stratton comes out, and Tiffany's basically baby facing it up. She goes, "You know what, Nia? She cashed in my championship on you. It's the greatest thing I've ever done, and I do it again." And so she gets in the ring. Crowd starts chanting Tiffy time. Naomi hits the ring.
Mhm.
Naomi blindsides her from behind to take her out. Jade comes out. The baby faces clear the ring. Jade and Tiffany Stratton. They clear the ring. The cousins-in-law are standing on the ramp. Nick Aldis comes out to make the match for later that night. We're gonna get Nia Jax and Tiffany, not Tiffany Stratton.
Naomi.
Trinity Fatu, thank you, and Naomi. That's why I do that. I don't know why. For some reason, I always call her Trinity instead
Always.
of Naomi, and it's always I don't know.
Always.
Nia Jax and Naomi against Jade and Tiffany Stratton in the main event of the show. Lackluster main event. When he announced that, I'm like, that could not be the main event of this show. But whatever. So we'll get to that later. So then we get Zelina Vega against Piper Niven. This was preceded by a hilarious backstage segment where Nick Aldis is talking to somebody. I don't remember who he was talking to, but then they're interrupted by Piper Niven
Mm-hmm.
and Isla Dawn. Not Isla Dawn, the other one, Alba Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Isla Dawn no longer works there. Alba Fire comes in. I love the fact that she comes in and she starts patting down Nick Aldis to see if he has any weapons on him. And then Piper Niven comes in and she goes, "It's clear, you can come in." And Chelsea Green comes in. And I love Chelsea Green. She comes in dressed like she's going to a funeral.
Yep.
She's dressed all black shawl, still has the American flag pin on her black clothes. And he goes, "Nick," she goes like, "Nick, I need my rematch. I know you don't care about the United States Championship because you're not even from here." And he looks at it and he goes, "Neither are you, and neither are you, and neither are you," because she's Canadian and the other two are Scottish. That just made me pop. He's like, "Neither are you, neither are you, and neither are you." But you know who's gonna get a match tonight? Piper Niven gets a match against Zelina Vega tonight. And as soon as he said that, in the chat or in the room where we were watching this, we all groaned. I'm like, why are we getting this match again? Like, I feel like we get this match all the time between Piper Niven and Zelina Vega. We get a match. They have a solid enough match, but this is the problem I'm gonna have. I think with Zelina Vega, it's just gonna be her against larger people because she's so small. You can't really like is her entire.
There's people you can use. The only problem is that right now she's caught up in this feud, and I don't see them moving on from this feud.
Yeah, because they don't have anybody else on SmackDown. The SmackDown women's roster, who are not for some reason in a feud all surrounding Tiffany Stratton right now, is very thin.
Yeah.
Because once you take out Nia Jax, Naomi, Tiffany, and Jade, there's not much to, and what's her face? Bianca's hurt. She broke her hand. Like, it's like there's not many people for Zelina to feud with. They brought the NXT women up and they put them all on Raw.
Yeah.
So there's not many people for her to feud with. So we're gonna continue this Chelsea Green feud for a little while. Fun match. Zelina's always great in the ring. Love to see her. I love the spot where she tried to hit her finishing move, the Code Red, and she couldn't get Piper over. Zelina gets the win after Chelsea tries to interfere. Piper goes to hit Zelina. Zelina ducks. She blasts Chelsea off the ring apron. And Zelina gets the jackknife roll up for the 3 count. We say this all the time. We need to figure out what we're doing with Zelina Vega.
Yep.
Because this is about what I thought they were going to start doing with her.
Yep.
And it's disappointing.
Yep.
It's so disappointing.
This is what I told you. I kept saying it. I'm like, listen, I love the girl, and I want her to do great things. You're going to put the belt on her, and then you're going to have nothing to do with her. You're not going to know what to do with her. If you're not going to do anything with her, then don't give her the belt and wait until you figure something out.
And here's the thing for me. She's such... Like, if you ever watch her Twitch streams, if you ever watch her social media, if you ever watch what she does outside of the ring, she seems like such a great, genuine person. Like, that video she put up, and I was talking about this when she won the championship last year, she looked up and pointed to the sky because she was probably thinking about her father who died in 9/11 at that point. She put up a video where she took her championship belt to the 9/11 memorial and put the title underneath her father's name and then called her mother. Like these are things that they can be highlighted on wrestling on SmackDown to really push who she is as a character forward.
Well, not just that, but also the girl is amazing on the mic, and she's had very little time on it.
On the mic, yeah.
Yeah. Like that's her biggest strength. I get what you're about to say, but
I was gonna say Chelsea can carry this feud, and because she's so good on the mic, and then Zelina.
But she's not the champion. And again, you're limiting what Zelina can actually do. So if you're limiting what she can do, then have her do the one thing that she's really good at, which is the mic.
Yeah. I don't know. She needs to, coming out of this feud, there needs to be some sort of direction for her.
Yeah.
Or some sort of feud where it makes me think, all right, I'm into this. Because Chelsea's great as a character worker. But the matches are going to be, they're going to be C plus B minus matches every single time. And they're never going to be stellar matches. Like, if you let me give her, let me like, there are women like Natalia. Bring Natalia back. That could be a really
I
solid feud.
keep
Make
saying
Natalia
this.
the
I
heel.
keep saying
Um,
this.
one of my favorites, and I think she's great. Mia Yim could
Yeah.
be a really good feud for her. There are women there. Side note: did you see BFAB on social media saying
Why
she's
don't
not
know?
happy with her spot?
No, but I knew you were gonna say BFAB for some reason.
I don't know. B because I went from Mia Yim, and I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
where our
yeah.
minds are at.
No,
So
I did not.
BFAB,
She went online and said something.
yeah, yeah, she went online and said about her. Let me find it exactly. She was on. I don't need to see the video. I just need the yeah. She put a whole 90-second video out on her Instagram talking about how she's not happy where she is in WWE. Let me see if I can find the transcript.
And she said it in a week of releases.
Bro.
I'm just saying that's not exactly.
So this is just from the AI overview. It's not the whole thing, but she's actively working to improve herself and hasn't been satisfied with simply being happy in her role, emphasizing a drive to stand out and take opportunities. Additional, uh, yeah, she's not content with what they have for her. Basically, is what she said. It's a 90-second video. I'll watch it later, and then we can comment on it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it later. I just pulled it
But
up. I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But again, be fab. You're not the person to come out and say this. Like Bailey can come out and say this. Karrion Cross can come out and say this. B Fab is not the person I want to be hearing. I'm not content with my spot. You're not, in my opinion, you're not good at any one thing. Like you have the look, you have the presence. She looks great. She's not a good talker. She's not a good worker. Why do I want to see you on my television?
Harsh. Harsh.
All right. All right. Then we get Ray Fenix and Santos Escobar.
Okay.
These guys, phenomenal match.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely phenomenal match. They have this was the one that I did not mind going long because these guys they wasn't so these two guys you would think they would have a faster paced match than they did. You would think it'd be something like Fraxiom had earlier in the show where they're just flying around and it really wasn't that. It was the match of two luchadors and Santos Escobar trying to slow down Ray Fenix and Ray Fenix having to fight from underneath. And I say this all the time. It's like, if you've never watched Lucha Underground, go watch these guys work there because I'm pretty sure you can find a match between the two of them, and it's fantastic. These two guys have incredible chemistry. And again, we're putting on feuds on SmackDown that don't have to do about a championship, and you're elevating other people.
Yep.
This is probably the best Santos Escobar has looked in WWE on the main roster. Like he's this. I care more about this. So Escobar did approach Phoenix early in the show, and they had a disagreement in the backstage. Basically, Santos told it comes off as jealousy, but it basically tells him you're not as good as you think you are. I'm the king of Lucha Libre. I'm the emperor of Lucha Libre, and I'm going to go out there and show you why I am who I say I am.
He had to throw in the fact that he lost to
He lost to
Grande
Americana, yeah.
Yeah. And then basically he was like, he should be the successor to Rey Mysterio.
And I can see that. I mean, Ray Fenix should be the successor in WWE to Rey Mysterio. I know you still want it to be Dragon Lee. That boat has sailed.
That boat has definitely sailed, but I'm saying that's what it's supposed to be. That's why you signed him. He was supposed to be the chosen one. And then they just got away from that. I don't even know, like almost immediately.
Yeah, I don't
know. I believe they signed him and they were just like, you know what? Sin cara.
They pushed him in NXT. He was an NXT North American champion. They were doing solid stuff with him. And then I felt like his NXT run was very short. He won the NXT North American title. He lost it, I believe, to Dominic Mysterio. I think that's right. And then they called him up to the main roster right away to put him with the LWO. So he got there very early into his WWE career.
Yeah.
I just the LWO is a wasteland. We talk about
Yep.
in basketball teams that players go to end their career and die, right?
Yep.
That's the LWO. If you're a Mexican wrestler, they're putting you in, and to a lesser extent, El Gato del Fantasma. They're kind of similar, but if they've got nothing for you and you wear a mask, we're gonna put you in this group. And this
You wear a mask or you're Hispanic.
Or Filipino,
Apparently.
they're like, don't worry, we're gonna put you in the LWO. I'm not Hispanic, I'm Filipino. No one cares. Like Joaquin Wild, you're going there.
Yeah, thanks.
No, but these guys had really good match. Love the fact that Escobar was hitting shots on Ray at one point and telling them he should join them, that he should join El Gato del Fantasma. This match, fantastic. Fenix eventually gets the win. Where do we go from here with them? Because I understand the underlying thing in this entire feud is everyone's pissed at Chad Gable. Like across two shows, every luchador is pissed at El Grande Americano. And if you're going to not uphold the heritage of what we do and you're going to lose to this gringo who's disrespecting our heritage, I have a problem with you. It's kind of similar to Karrion Kross, AJ Styles, Logan Paul. It's very similar story where this guy is an outsider and you lost to him, so you make us all look bad.
Yeah.
So where do we go with Fenix? Do we think he's eventually going to go to the mid card and feud for that United States Championship?
No.
Who the hell is? Oh, Jacob Fatu.
No.
Yeah. No.
I don't think that's coming anytime soon. I think they're gonna draw out the Chad Gable stuff for a while.
Yeah.
As far as Santos, I'm very curious what they're gonna do with the Andrade situation, because Andrade after this match once again came up and confronted him backstage, and Los Garza were definitely, it kind of seemed like they were siding with what Andrade was saying.
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued by what they're gonna do with that. That's the side of the feud that I'm really intrigued by.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see the Spider-Man meme match, right?
I hate you.
That's what it is, bro. Like I love them both. I love Andrade and I love Santos. I might like Santos more than I like Andrade. But in WWE, they are the same thing.
100%.
Same character.
100%.
They've done nothing to differentiate the two of them from each other.
Yeah. Is Andrade a face?
We had this conversation last week.
And I feel like he's not a face, but he is the face. Between the two. I feel like he's a baby face between the two.
In this feud, yes. Who knows? After this feud, he may come out and attack somebody and go heel. But
that's what I feel like it is. I feel like he's a heel, but in this bubble, he's the face.
Yeah. In this, like it's weird. He's kind of a tweener right now, but I think they've positioned him as being a babyface since he's been back. But since he's been back at the Rumble, he hasn't had a feud anyway, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Like they use him so sparingly and so in one-off matches, it's hard to tell what he actually is.
True.
So, but hopefully we get a good, solid match between those two guys at some point. They have so many shows coming up. It's hard to. Battleground is a week from yesterday. It's 6 days from now. Not Battleground. What's the name of the show? Backlash.
That's a big difference.
No, because Battleground is going to be the NXT show on the 25th.
No, I get that. I'm saying that's a big difference. Okay.
Yeah. So, Backlash is 6 days from now, and then we have whatever the June show is, and then we have Money in the Bank in July, and then we have a 2-night SummerSlam in August. So, they have a lot of shows coming up that they have to start building towards. All right. Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton against Naomi and Nia Jax.
Mm.
This was just a match.
Mm-hmm.
This. There was nothing special. There's nothing really great about this match.
It didn't stand
Uh,
out.
it was all about the finish, and the baby faces get the win. But it was about Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton fighting over the championship, right? The
Mm-hmm.
tug of war at the end when they were fighting over and eventually Naomi coming and attacking them at the end and standing over them for the championship with the championship in her hand. Nia Jax told Naomi last week, stay out of my Tiffany Stratton situation for the world championship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you have going on with Jade. I don't want you going after that. That's my title to go after right now. Naomi did not listen.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi literally did exactly what Nia told her not to do. Jade looked like $1,000,000 in this thing as far as outfit wise. Again, she needs somebody to work with that's gonna carry her in this match. Tiffany is not the right tag partner for her. Like she was good with Bianca because Bianca can do the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany was not the right tag partner for her because Tiffany can't do it either.
Mm-hmm.
We had the same conversation last week when they had their one-on-one match.
Yep.
Tiffany can't carry her through a one-on-one match. Tiffany can't carry her through a tag match.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi and Nia are great heels.
Yep.
They can help the rookies in a sense. They're not rookies, but they can help the rookies in a sense try to get through a decent enough match. But it was just to get to the ending.
Yeah.
And there was nothing really special about this match.
I'm not gonna argue with anything you said. Like it's point blank. I thought it was a lackluster match. It definitely shouldn't have been the main event. I felt like the Ray and Santos should have been the main event if you were gonna do anything. Because again, in the beginning of the night, you switched the Damien Priest match and LA Knight to the very forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So then they should have pushed the Ray Phoenix. And normally, obviously, I don't mind a women's match being the ending, but this wasn't it. It was a match, as you said. It was a match.
Yeah, like I understand why they put these within the match because again, Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, they all have some sort of name value.
Just give us the Fatal 4-Way. Just announce the Fatal 4-Way and call it a night.
Yeah, that's what looks like we're going to be getting at Backlash. We're going to have a Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. We're going to have a Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship. We're going to have Cena and
Orton.
Orton. We're going to have it's 5 matches. It's going to be they announced another one. They announced another. There was 3 matches. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Jay doesn't have a match?
Jay and Logan Paul.
There you go.
Jay and Logan Paul. That was the other one. See, I totally blocked that out of my brain.
Because you're so excited for it.
Logan Paul is a solid enough wrestler.
Stop it. We're not doing this.
Oh, and Becky and Lyra.
There's your 5.
Becky and Lyra. Yeah. So, right now, what it was announced is, it should be more than 5. Because we forgot about Gunther and Pat McAfee.
Oh, nice.
So right now, what's announced is Cena, Orton, Lyra, Becky, the Fatal 4-Way for the Men's United States Championship, and Gunther and McAfee.
And we know we're getting that Fatal 4-Way for the women.
And we know we're probably going to get Jay and Logan. So we're going to probably have 6 matches on the card.
Okay. I'm good with that. Backlash is typically 2 hours, right?
3 hours.
Oh, God damn it.
It's a PLE. They're all 3 hours.
Are they?
Yes. Except for WrestleMania. That's 4 hours. Why would you do your PLEs shorter shows than your televised shows?
I don't think they need to. Because your regular shows are 3 hours right now. That's why. And I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
It's a lot of wrestling. No, I get it. It's a lot of wrestling.
Which it's okay if it's a lot of wrestling. It's when it's a lot of wrestling and a lot of it is just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, the last since Mania, it's been a little bit of a drag, but it's the post Mania lull.
It's
We have to,
this.
we have to, we have to build new stars.
Yeah,
We have to make the new champions feel special, which is what they're probably trying to do with Jay.
yeah,
Um, but it's also like your main guys aren't on the shows right now. It's like, and the problem, and it's like not when Cena, when Lesnar was champion in 2012, 2013, and he was world champion when he had one belt. This is before Universal Championship, and then he'd be off TV for 4 months at a time. Like you had to find stuff for your other wrestlers to do when there was no championship to fight over.
mm,
And it's what seems like it's not to that level, but with Cena having that championship and only showing up every once in a while, like I think there's like 26 dates left, you have to find ways to elevate the rest of your card to the main event on these shows. And there's, in my opinion, they're struggling to do so. Like they need to find, and I know you said Phoenix could have been a main event. Phoenix and Santos, the match would have been worthy of main event.
that's what I'm talking about.
But
The
the name
characters.
value,
I
the
know.
name value,
I
of
understand what
characters
you're saying.
aren't worthy of a main event.
No, of course not.
So, so, so it's gonna be a couple months where we're gonna be talking about this, where we're gonna go through a lull. I think Money in the Bank is gonna be the time when we get really excited for wrestling, and because who's gonna win Money in the Bank? Because now whoever wins Money in the Bank, now you have a storyline for all year long.
Yeah.
Right? So it's gonna be a little bit of a drag for the next couple months. But it gives us stuff to laugh at and make fun of.
It needs to be somebody from SmackDown, I'll tell you that.
For the constant thing of is he going to cash in on John Cena?
So, not necessarily John Cena, but remember, Money in the Bank, that's a year-long thing. Cena's not going to be around for a year.
Yeah.
You can do a little bit with Cena, but the reality is you're going to do it with whoever the next champion, which we think is Cody again.
So listen, my thought going into this year, correct, I think it's going to be Cody. My thought going into this year was Dom Mysterio could have won Money in the Bank and made it really good. But now he's Intercontinental Champion. So I don't think he's going to win it.
No.
If we're making way too early predictions because it's 2 months from now, Braun Breaker, Money in the Bank champion.
I can see it.
That's my early prediction.
I can see it.
And then you have the synergy of Seth was Money in the Bank holder when he was with the Authority. Braun is Money in the Bank holder while he's still with Seth and Heyman. And then Seth, as much as he's the future, he could always also be like, I kind of want that world title for myself, and this guy's holding the briefcase.
Yeah.
So you can do that little storyline. I know they kind of did that in the Judgment Day a couple years ago, but you could kind of do that storyline with Seth. All right. Any takeaways?
Yeah, they need to get better. That's my takeaway. They need to get better.
Oh, God.
You can't give me what you gave me at WrestleMania and then give me what you gave me right after WrestleMania, and then the week after that it's just like, what are we doing? Like, it's too early for that. You know what I mean?
I get it.
That's my takeaway. It's too early for this to be hitting a lull like that.
Yeah. I mean, we said going into SmackDown, they had one thing announced for SmackDown.
Yeah.
It was just Aleister Black and Miz.
Yeah.
That was the only thing WWE had on their preview page.
Yep.
Just goes to show you, when there's not a lot to get people to get excited for, expect shows like this.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why they don't announce a lot, because number one, there's not a lot to be excited for, but I also look at it as they're not announcing a lot because if they announce what they actually have for the card,
people will preemptively not watch the show. Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, no bueno.
We're gonna accidentally get 2 million people to watch this.
Yep. Yeah. That's exactly what that was. Shoot.
All right. Hopefully, Raw will be better. I don't think they have a Raw preview up yet. Let's see. That's tomorrow night. This is Sunday, right? So tomorrow's 5/5. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see if they have anything up on for a Raw preview tomorrow. Two in-ring returns apparently. Oh, we have Penta versus JD McDonough,
Okay.
and we have Rusev versus Otis.
Okay.
That is the Raw preview for tomorrow night.
Okay. I don't know about better. I'll tell
Here's
you
my
that
thing.
right there.
I love Rusev
Yeah.
coming back and beating down the jobbers on
Yeah.
Raw.
Does
The
nothing.
team that everybody beats down does nothing for him.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be fun. I do like the fact that, I don't know if we touched on it during our Raw preview, I do like the fact that Rusev's promo on this past Raw, or his backstage, or his vignette, he sounded like he was continuing his character from AEW. He was kind of like he was continuing his reclaimer gimmick from AEW.
Mm.
So they're allowing those guys, him and Aleister, to come in, and they're like, don't totally ignore everything you did over there. We liked what you did. Just bring it in here, and we'll touch it up to the way we want to do it. So he's not exactly the same Rusev character from 2014, 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
Which is pretty solid. Yeah, so that's all that we got for Monday Night Raw. Coming up. I'm just looking through something, and people are expecting apparently Dom and AJ to get into a thing later than whatever.
I mean, yeah. I could have told you that.
Yeah.
They're going to get into something. Because think about it. Who's the buffer in that group?
The buffer?
Yeah. Whenever they're about to get into it, or Finn has a problem, who's the buffer that always gets in between them?
Carlito?
No. Liv.
Oh, Liv. Oh, man, she's going to be away.
And she's going to be away. So what happens when the buffer's not there anymore?
Mm-hmm.
So they got to start revving up.
Yeah. But I said Dom and AJ. Why did you go to Dom and Finn?
What?
I said that people are expecting Dom and AJ to get into a thing.
Oh, AJ. AJ Styles?
He went to Finn. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking... I'm thinking Judgment Day.
Yeah, I said Dom and AJ.
I know. I understood.
And he went directly to Finn. I'm just like, wait, what?
You sure you said AJ?
We can rewind the tape. I definitely said AJ.
We will rewind the tape. No, but it's possible that it's completely possible that I just said, because who cares? Who cares about Dom and AJ? That's my point. So either way, that's probably why my mind said, nah, Finn, because that's a more intriguing story. And again, it's a more intriguing story. And again, to my point, Liv ain't there. So you have to start revving this up while she's away. You have to start making this feud start burning bright.
Yeah. All right. I think that'll do it for this week's episode of As the Smackdown Turns. Yeah. Hopefully it gets better next week. That's it. That's all I got for you guys. You want to do the outro?
As always, no, I agree with you. There's nothing. It's such a lull to be ending on that there's it's not like we get to. You can't have a lull show and then have us be super mega excited. That's not how this works. If they're a lull, we're more or less a lull. But yeah, so as always, we appreciate you guys. Continue to like, follow, comment, subscribe, and all those things. Help us grow the channel. We love when you guys interact with us. We got a couple comments. We've been hitting people up. We got people in our DMs. We're hitting those people up. So it's pretty nice just to be hearing from you guys just on a pure fan basis. It's awesome. Yeah. So continue to do that. We'll continue to put out our content, and we'll catch you on the next one.